You're right. Thank you. Pretty strong.
Paul gives us a really simple answer in Philippians 2. I didn't say it was easy, but it's simple. And the answer is humility. First he says, if you have any encouragement, any comfort from belonging to Christ, then agree with each other, love one another, and work together with one mind and purpose. If we are in Christ, then our attitudes towards each other are important. We need to treat each other well. Not to do, he says, don't try to impress others. He says, don't think of yourself as better than others, and don't just look out for yourself. There's 4 things that he lists in this scripture passage. Basically, putting others down in order to lift yourself up, it has no place in a Christian's life. There's no need to do that. Selfish ambition, vain conceit, these are symptoms of pride. But pride and love, they don't go well together. They don't play well together. That's where humility comes in. So Paul's saying, don't just look out for your own interests. Look out for the interests of others as well. He isn't saying you have to ignore your own needs. He's not saying that at all. But, it's kind of a given we take care of ourselves. We take care of the things that we need. But we also need to consider, how can I help others? What needs can I fill? And then we have interruptions. This is a tough one for me. How many interruptions happen in your day? I think a lot. Do they frustrate you? They frustrate me.
Oh, I have like too many.
Too many? I hate to admit that it bothers me, but there are certain times when I just don't want to be interrupted. I just want to do what I'm doing and not be messed with. Well, how do I turn that around? Because I don't want people to feel like they're a burden, right? So how can I turn that interruption around into a need-filled experience? How can you create space in your life so that when an interruption happens, it's not a bother, it's an opportunity to show Christ's love to somebody else? There are so many examples of humility in the world, but Paul gives us the best. He gives us the example of Jesus. Paul says we need to have the same attitude that Jesus had.
What?
That is a tall
Why
order.
wouldn't I do?
Those are some big shoes to fill. And if that's not enough, he breaks into this hymn of praise for Jesus that shows exactly what he's talking about. So in the middle of this letter that he's writing to Philippians, Paul quotes a hymn. It says, though he was God, he did not think of equality with God as something to cling to. Instead, he gave up his divine privileges, he took the humble position of a slave, and was born as a human being. When he appeared in human form, he humbled himself in obedience to God and died a criminal's death on a cross. Therefore, God elevated him to the place of highest honor and gave him the name above all other names, that at the name of Jesus, every knee should bow in heaven and on earth and under the earth, and every tongue declare that Jesus Christ is Lord, to the glory of God the Father. Jesus was there at creation. John 1:1 says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was God. The Word here means Jesus. Jesus is God. Jesus showed the ultimate example of humility when he set aside his rights as God. He came to earth as Emmanuel, the God with us. So for a little while, he set aside his spot on the throne so that he could put our needs.
So that's why something.
How about that for an example? In verse 8 it says, he humbled himself and became obedient to death. Think of all that Jesus gave up when he became human. He set aside his glory so that he could become one of us. Mark 10:45 says that for even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. Jesus came here to serve. And he allowed himself to be humiliated, to be humbled when he came as a baby. Babies don't have a lot of dignity either. They have somebody else changing their diapers, somebody else giving them baths, burping them. They don't have privacy or dignity. But that's what Jesus did. He became a baby. And in other cultures, take it to Daddy.
No.
In other cultures, infants aren't even given names. They're referred to as a beetle. They're called the beetle. Until they're past the age of sudden infant death syndrome. So closer to like a year old is when they finally get a name in some cultures.
Not the house one.
So babies are kind of seen as lowly beings, you know, but Jesus became a baby. And then after he became a human life, he sacrificed his life. He was crucified with criminals, tortured and accused, and yet he didn't do anything wrong. He didn't commit any crimes. He was humiliated on that cross, but he did it willingly. He had the power to come off the cross. He was still God. He could have saved himself, but he chose not to. He chose humility, and he chose sacrifice. And then God raised him, and God exalted
Mommy,
him.
I go play again. How about tree?
And now he is Lord. He is the name above every name, the name at which every knee should bow. That's our ultimate example of humility. Jesus didn't cease to be God when he became human. He just set aside some of his rights as God. He sacrificed himself on account of his love for us, putting our needs over his own. Those shoes are way too big for us to fill. That example of Jesus is so perfect that we can't possibly imitate him. But that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to have the attitude that Jesus had towards others. And we can't do it on our own, but thankfully we have God working within us to help us do that. Paul continues his letter by encouraging the Philippians and also us to keep following his directions, to work at showing the results of our salvation, to obey God. And then Paul says something very hard. He says, do everything without complaining and arguing, so no one can criticize you. How much do we love to complain? A lot. What are some of your favorite complaints? Anybody? It's too hard, I'm too tired, I don't wanna. The more we complain, the harder it is. The bigger deal we make out of something, the worse it seems. So the more we complain, the worse we make it for ourselves. And then I love the part that comes next in Philippians. It says, live clean, innocent lives as children of God, shining like bright lights in a world full of crooked and perverse people. He says, live in such a way that we shine in the darkness. We get to sparkle. That's what I think of. We get to shine as bright lights for Jesus in the darkness when we do what Paul's saying here. Paul says he'll be proud, he'll rejoice. And he wants the Philippians and us to rejoice too. And why is that? Because serving God by putting others' needs ahead of ours gives us joy. Meeting someone else's needs brings us joy. When we're selfish, we don't have enough. When we're selfish, we're always running for more. We need something more. We want something more. There's never enough money. There's never enough food. There's never enough clothes. There's never enough shoes. But when we meet someone else's need and we have to sacrifice to do it, not only are we content, but we have joy. The stuff of the world kind of loses its grip on us when we're meeting somebody else's need, and that makes us joyful. So we are going to take a break and we are going to sing Jesus Messiah.